if reposted.
I have a confession to make, Mr. Keller. I went to 5 actual live stores yesterday to buy something, and the experience absolutely sucked. Then I came home and bought something on Amazon. It was great. Today's thought comes from an article, thebusinessoffashion.com, talking about the state of retail. Here's the quote. In nature, they're referred to as apex predators. In retail, they're called Amazon, Alibaba, Walmart, and JD.com. Here's the first question for you. When you need something, is the first place you go to Amazon, or do you think of actually going to a store first?
I'll do research on Google, which might lead me to Amazon, and do reviews. If I need something that costs more than $50, I'm going to do a lot of research on what the best one is and value. I'm curious what you're trying to buy, and also what happened to your 3-day Amazon rule where it has to sit in your cart before you purchase it.
Well, so I'm putting together a new home like barbecue sort of setup stuff, and I needed to go to a hardware store. So I went to the local Little Ace first. Yeah. They didn't have what I wanted. Then I went to Lowe's. Then I went to Home Depot. Then I went to a different Ace. And here's what I found at these places. I went in, and for the most part, nobody ever came and asked if I needed help. I had to literally run someone down to ask for help. At the Lowe's specifically, I went to get a lemon tree, and I was with my 8-year-old son, and we walked up. He said, "Hey, are there lemon trees over here?" And the lady literally said, "They're somewhere over there." And my 8-year-old turned to me and said, "She was not very helpful." I feel like there's this idea now that like most people buy their stuff at Amazon, and even people that work at stores are like, we don't need to help people anymore.
Well, yeah, I think that's true. I don't know if Lowe's is the best example of that, because you said this article that is basically like these bigger stores are the ones that are surviving and thriving in the pandemic. And I feel like Lowe's is in the same category as Walmart. Lowe's has all that, and they have to have, oh man, I forgot the exact term the article used, but basically the more you consume, the more the beast has a metabolism that needs to be fed. And so they have all these employees that aren't being trained the same as if you had gone to more of a local store. So if you went to your local nursery that had one location and the people that ran it cared about it, you would have been walked to the lemon tree. But I mean, we are moving towards more of the Amazon experience, because going to Lowe's specifically is most of the time a failure.
Even when I had to go fill up my Blue Rhino as well. So I went to the first store to fill it up, and I'm like carrying the Blue Rhino can. And literally like the 2 young dudes at the counter, like, "Hey man, no Blue Rhino here." I'm like, "Okay, cool. You got to get something." And it was like, "Hey, go back and put the Rhino in your car. We can't have it." It was just this experience of, I feel like we're getting, like, I used to go to the hardware store with my dad all the time, Sackett, Peters, and Whittier. And you would go and ask somebody for something. I feel like we're now, even people that work at actual stores are like, "Hey, yo, man, what are you doing in here? You're supposed to just get that on Amazon."
Yeah, I mean, Blue Rhino, I'm guessing, is propane, right?
Yeah.
So that, I think, is more a different topic. That's a side effect of our culture wanting to be risk averse, or there's someone blew up once, and so you can't ever bring that into the store, which I guess I get from a safety perspective. But it makes me think of when I go overseas and I see there's not a railing at the water's edge. I'm like, oh, it's so dangerous. But we're risk averse.
I went to 5 stores to try to find these things. Couldn't find them anywhere. 5 stores couldn't find. I wanted a specific type of grill adjustment thing. Didn't come home, went to Amazon, immediately found them, immediately ordered. They're going to come tomorrow. Like, not even coming in 2 days, they're coming tomorrow. So almost faster than I can get to Daly City and go to Lowe's, I can get what I want. So I feel like society's saying, hey, don't go to the store anymore.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's better overall for the country? I mean, there's the article also mentioned that the pandemic was a meteor that hit the retail outlets, and it's like, who's going to really survive the other side of it? And maybe Amazon is the new business model. You don't have to necessarily buy from Amazon, but offering a digital option could be more of the future.
No, and I did think about that. Like, is this good for jobs? Do people have jobs because it all goes to Amazon? Maybe Amazon has the jobs. Is it good for your local business? Here in San Francisco, the mayor said, hey, for the next month, only shop local. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea, until I shop local. And I was like, no, nobody should be shopping local, because going to the store is not fun anymore.
You mean Ace and Lowe's is not local? I mean, local means going to the that place on Polk Street. I can't remember the name of it, but like the actual local, or Cole Hardware. Cole Hardware is a local San Francisco place that the people generally know what they're talking about.
Have you been to a mall lately?
Yeah, I'm actually going to one later today, but I don't like going to malls.
So, I mean, like, are malls going to eventually just go away as well, because we're just going to get everything online? Those are prime to be dinosaurs.
I don't know. I personally, I hate going to malls, and my personal life view is that they'll go away. But when I go there, I see so many people that like just being at the mall and like doing their thing, that I don't think they're going to go away in the form that we know them. They're going to cater to a specific type of person, but I don't know.
On the other end of this, I had to recently go, we were trying to buy a dinner table. So we went to some higher end stores where they were actually very helpful and very attentive, because they work on commission. And it was like, okay, you're coming in a store. They even would suggest places to go and look at other stores. They would suggest other products. So people are a great resource. People can give you help. But I feel like we're trained. I mean, but once again, this was a really kind of high-end furniture store. The average furniture store, like anything is, I just think they just don't even care.
Well, yeah, but you're also comparing a commissioned employee to a Lowe's employee. When you incentivize people, they're willing to do it. I worked at Williams-Sonoma for a while, and we did not receive commission. But every once in a while, there'd be a promotion. Like if you sell X amount of Le Creuset, you'll get something. And I won the competition one time, and I pushed it a little bit harder. And so incentivizing people is a way to get that moving forward. I like the Amazon culture, but I also live in a large city, and I generally can get something in less than 24 hours. I don't know if I lived more rural, it might take a couple of days, might not be worth it, but I like the convenience of it. But there is something to be said about the local store and someone who actually has knowledge. And like you said, humans being a good resource.
Humans are good. Do you think in the future, we'll literally just order something and it'll drop out of the sky from a drone within like an hour?
I mean, that's what they're saying the future is, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I don't know if it's true. I saw a funny meme that someone is telling Elon Musk that there's technology, they should pursue the technology of a new Jurassic Park. And someone's like, well, there's 5 movies telling you why that's a bad idea, so don't do it. I don't know. I thought that was
definitely am of the mind that it's better to have lots of resources. Like I like when there's lots of banks in the area, because then they're competing for my business. But it seems as if we've just been reduced to Amazon. Like Amazon is where everybody buys everything. And I don't think that's necessarily a great idea. I'd rather have lots of Amazons.
Well, I mean, there's resources. I was at Lowe's the other day and I was like, well, I'm going to buy this paint gun, but on Amazon, it's $40 cheaper and I get it tomorrow. I can wait 24 hours to save. So I don't know. It kind of depends if you want to more support something local, which is not Lowe's, but if I want to support, I don't even know what the local version of that is, local Benjamin Moore, or save money. It's kind of like, well, you have to pick your poison.
This is the last thing I'll say. It is unsatisfying to shop online. I have recently kind of undertaken this light project that I kind of want to do with one of my walls. And all I'm doing is Googling lights, like how to. I went into one store and was talking to someone and they bounced ideas off me. I feel like that's what you get from a human being. Like we interacted and he was like, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? As opposed to literally just Googling this idea in my head. So I feel like maybe that's the way the world's headed. We're going to just be going to robots and being like, give me red lights.
We'll go to YouTube. You know what I mean? There's a video on how to do everything.
Yeah.
So
yep. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, who needs a sales guy? We got YouTube.
Yeah, you don't. It's we're shifting. Let's see what happens. Well, if you want to go to the barbecue at Larry's house, please reach out. You can find us at Reposted Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm Andrew Keller for I Don't Touch Raw Meat, saying thanks for stopping by.